Based on Justin, I was talking to a guy in Denver last night. And, they were supposed to have clear skies, said they couldn't even see the mountains.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, it's been pretty rough here, actually. But I imagine out there it's even worse. 'Cause we're used to having pretty clean skies, and you get up in elevation, and then but you throw that smoke up there, and it's like, tears them up pretty good. We're kind of used to having some goo in the air.
Well, there was a lot of smoke, I was driving in tonight.
Yeah, there was a lot last night too. I tried to do a few things, but if you're not shooting straight overhead, you got a challenge for you.
Well, I had been thinking of, when I got home tonight, hauling things out and
Yeah.
doing some imaging,
But if you can stay overhead, you're probably not too bad. But boy, you know, anything that's down in elevation, you just will forget, because it's gotta be really thick.
Oh, shoot.
Did you get my note that I'm gonna be joining you tonight?
Oh, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, look at that. We're right in the bullseye there. Jeez.
Oh, yeah, the dense is purple, and we're in here's the purple, right? The densest is purple.
is that the smoke?
Yeah, smoke.
Makes for impressive sunsets and sunrises,
Well, if you can see the sunset, mine's set before it gets down to the horizon.
but big old red ball.
Our scope is pretty well socked in too, though. It looks a little green around there, but there's fires all around it.
Mm.
There's your cane. They fell over.
It keeps falling, but hard to hang out here.
Oh, here, you want to just lay it on this?
Nah, we'll just get it back here out of the way.
I think we won't have standing room only, so I think we're okay.
Astro-spheric? I'm not as bad as
Oh, yeah,
the guy was.
astro-spheric, yeah.
He kept walking off and forgetting his cane. And,
What was that, Astro what?
Astrospheric. We kind of you could get to it from our website, right, where the weather stuff is. Astrospheric
okay.
for Farpoint.
Huh, okay, yeah.
Oh, all right.
You know, I've seen that a million times. I don't think I've ever been to it.
Yeah, I mean, they have a couple of good views compared to other ones, so. They also could do clouds too.
Yeah, that's pretty impressively bad.
yeah, it really is.
That's a good way of putting it.
See, and then you got clouds on the other side of that, so.
That's it's a good website.
Light pollution. I don't know what this one is. Satellite visible.
Yeah, however, that could be updated probably a little bit. And sometimes those light pollution maps are from several years ago and they don't really reflect what's going current.
Yeah.
I don't know what the legend is on that one, if we can find it. I mean, that's
What's the smoke?
day to day.
Oh, here we go. So. Courtesy of David Lorenz. I don't know who he is.
Oh, okay. It doesn't have a date on it, unfortunately. I can see.
4. Oh, it says Bortle scale.
Yeah, 4, and we're at 4. Lucky us.
Mhm.
Of the 3 4s, we're the bottom 4, but still, we used to be a 3. Not so much anymore.
No, my house is still at 3, I think. Something like that.
Cool. I guess we could get started. guess some announcements. Next public night is August 10th, and next general meeting August 22nd. Does anyone else have any club news? Okay, how about just regular astronomy news? Does anyone have anything they want to share?
One thing I noticed, I was trying to access Farpoint the last couple of mornings, and the first time I did it, the scope went really wacky. Took off when I pushed the button to have it go up, and it just jumped up like this.
Mm.
And I think there's a wire that's maybe not making a good connection. So I told him I'm gonna go out there with you tonight.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Plus I got about 4 paper towel rolls to bring up. Yeah, I don't know. It could be that there's I know this is not probable, but a mouse wire. Some wire that got ate by a mouse, or whatever.
That happens.
It does.
I just did some of that repair work this afternoon.
Did you?
A charger for my wheeler.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems strange to me the way it reacted. It didn't shut down, which was surprising. Because usually if the encoder feed's going back to the controller is sensing it's not working, it will shut things off. But it never shut anything off. It just kind of jumped like this, and then sometimes it went over more than what I thought it should. So I don't know. There's something wrong with it, and it's probably just a loose wire someplace, or a grounded wire somewhere.
Yeah, I don't, depend upon your schedule yet for
Oh.
Saturday night or whatever.
Oh yeah. I'm not confident yet, but I can let you know Saturday morning. Yeah.
Okay,
Mm.
so it may be doing, even with the cloud, smoke and everything, I may be trying to do a little bit of a run just to get that controller working.
Well, yeah, it's a good time to work on your equipment and get your procedures down.
Yeah,
Even though if you're not going to probably get an award-winning picture, but it's a good practice time.
so I may be out there Saturday evening, so.
I'm gonna have a talk ready for next month.
Oh, cool.
If somebody will provide a laptop or something that I can check it with, because the one I've got, pretty bad.
Not necessarily good.
Well, it came with Windows 8.1.
Yeah, I hated 8.1.
I did too, and
yeah.
the laptop was even worse than this operating system.
Yeah, I had 8.1 on a laptop, and I dumped it eventually.
Well, I've got Linux on it now,
Yeah.
Linux Mint, but it's pretty flaky.
Oh, sure. Could probably run it on here. This one.
You talk about skies and so forth. I've got now close to 100 darks of different filters
Mhm.
and so forth because of all the smoke in Mexico.
Yeah.
I had the roof closed. You might as well just be taking darks, doing something.
Exactly. Darks and flats. You could even
Well,
get your flats.
I can't do, I've got to use twilight flats there because I haven't been able to take flats.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Inside.
Yeah, that's right.
Nobody wants a flat panel and they're lit up, do they?
No, no. Yeah, I understand. When you're in a group like that, you gotta go with the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate flats. I've been trying to look how you can make synthetic flats easier. I guess you just have to take
Yeah.
tons and tons of images.
I'll tell you what, I still think the best one is a couple layers of t-shirts.
Well, yeah, but that's a long walk for me.
Yeah, well-
868 miles.
What you need to do is get a good cloudy night there, which is probably pretty rare, and
Yeah.
start taking cloud images. I'll tell you what, over an average.
They want up in the roof, it was cloudy.
No, that's the problem. Okay.
They want, we really want to make sure that the cameras, same position that's gonna be,
Oh, sure.
you know, one of the things that I have done is that, put the camera in and then get one of these little white markers.
Yes.
And mark on the camera and then, mark on the, where the camera would, go into the eyepiece holder. So I could, if it's off, it's not gonna be off.
Right. Right, yeah, I think that's a pretty common trick. I think, you know, a lot of
Move the
people
camera at all.
Are you using, you get a, CMOS
Yeah, it's the
600?
Q1, yeah,
Yeah.
Philips one, 600, short focal light,
Mm-hmm.
or HDF, no short
Yeah.
macros.
I'm
600.
Question. I was gonna start taking pictures. I bought that adapter for my Nikon.
Uh-huh.
You're talking about not darks and flash. Do I need to do that with that
Sure.
Nikon?
Good.
And, you know, if you want to, you could just take images without doing it, and then later see what happens when you use them.
That's the same.
See how much difference there
Because
is.
I gotta learn how to stack.
Hmm.
If you're stacking, stacking software, I'm familiar with them very much. You know, those taken before you take your lights. So it will subtract them out as it goes along.
Otherwise, you're gonna build up a lot of noise when you
Yeah.
build up those images, that's the fact.
Yeah.
So if you don't take flats and you don't take biases, at least those two, I don't know that darks are important with CMOS, doesn't seem to be very important.
No, it doesn't seem to make all that difference with ours.
It depends if you have a lot of the fixed pattern noise or amp glow.
But fixed pattern noise will come out with bias.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, amp glow, then I guess it would really
Yeah.
matter.
That's what we're thinking.
And the amp is gonna be mainly a problem with the blue sky stuff.
Now, when you say deep sky, if
QH1.
I was just wanting to take pictures of the moon and some of the planets,
Don't mess with it.
No.
just like I'm taking a picture of.
And, you know, if you're taking pictures of the moon's so overpowering that you're not even gonna see probably any defects.
It's like taking a picture of your neighbor's house the other day.
You
So-
don't.
So you're fine to do that, I think.
Yeah,
Without-
planetary too, I wouldn't,
Unless unless you got a dust mote that's right in the middle of your planetary image.
Well, I've got, Lightroom will eliminate a lot of that. I can, blow it up and eliminate that just.
Yeah, of course, what you do when you do that is you kind of average the surrounding pixels, so it doesn't register anything that might be in that spot. It just kind of blanks it out and makes it average.
That's what I found. That's why my moon pictures are always, the moon's always gold. Because by the time I do, I put enough contrast and there's a couple other settings. I do them and it brings all that detail out of the craters
Uh-huh.
like I really want.
Right.
But it's not a lunar colored moon.
Yeah, color is really kind of perceptually,
And that's not, I'm more for the detail rather than the color. I can just look at it and see what color it is, but I want to see the detail.
well, you can always adjust the color anyway, so,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
depending on what software you're using.
The thing that I hate is when they get these deep sky images of the Veil Nebula and they throw in such awful color and so strong. It's like
Pretend like it's real.
Yeah.
See, I really
Just
don't
not
intend
close.
to do any deep sky
Yeah.
photography, just.
Are we burning up your meeting time here?
You're good. I mean, so today's meeting, I was going to talk about the Astro League, but Doug usually does like a constellation or something beforehand. I wasn't going to do that, but I was just going to go through and see if everyone has a favorite summer object, and then I'd point it out in Stellarium or something. So if you got one, we could go. We could see where it is and.
It's more of a spring object, but NGC 1579.
It's not even in here. Oh, there it is.
It's in there, yeah, down below right now, but
I know I talked to you, Russell, about, I'm really wanting to get the Andromeda. But
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
I evidently, that's a fall.
Yeah,
it's visible in the mornings now.
November, December, January, springtime on that. But, you know, the camera would be perfect.
It's,
for
it's
that.
kind of a, it's kind of like a mini
Yeah.
Triffitt.
I was gonna use.
It's got like the blue nebula around it, and then,
Yeah, with that,
and then the
you
red
should-
and dark nebula.
Oh, yeah.
What I,
Cool.
what I used to do on
And it seems pretty big,
piggyback,
so.
Pretty good size, yeah, yeah.
This is scaled for the
That's what I run
ASI
my
1600
camera
on a
my
600 millimeter.
Telescope, you know,
Yeah.
to
Refractor,
search it,
so-
and then
Yeah.
I just, put it
If
on.
you have,
Just take it directly through my camera with the,
I
and
don't
play
have
with
any
the 300
telescope set up on here.
all over the
Yeah.
Okay,
place.
that's what Russell.
Cool.
So I was gonna take my, I got a 205,
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
and that's
I was gonna see how I could mount that.
oh, it's called the
to
Northern Trifid even.
12 inch.
And
Here we
use
go.
that- and
Northern
use that-
Trifid
use
Nebula.
that-
I don't know where that came from, because I always heard it by a CNC number.
Okay.
You know, when I piggyback, knowing that my camera is probably not perfectly parallel
Oh,
with
so
the
it's
camera. You know, take a
South
few,
of the California.
you know,
Mhm.
20-second exposures, just to make sure that I have it, and just play with that a little bit to make.
It's kind of a fun one. It's fairly faint and not quite as easy
If
as
it's
the
not
Triffitt,
quite
but,
square with the world, my camera.
Cool.
but it's one that
But
not
anyway,
very often gets
Yeah,
imaged.
I just take it directly through the camera.
Yeah, okay.
Do you got one, Justin?
Oh,
Yeah.
I,
And, you know, for me, that's the way to do a lot of.
The Goon
live
Nebula?
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I got a Nikon D850, and I've got several good lenses.
Well, we've got the 400 lens, but we're running a ZW camera.
That's a good one.
Well, I'll figure
I
out
like
how
it
to get that
visually when you
mounted
use
to
O3 filter.
something.
Or yeah, O3 nebula filter or something. I think it
Yeah.
pops out pretty good. And that's in Sagittarius, I believe. So to the south. It gets pretty low, but you could use the 12-inch to view it, as long as you don't wait too long. Around September and stuff, it starts getting hard to show.
yeah.
Um,
Blaze Star too, when that gets ready to come up, go.
We're imaging that one now. Frequently,
Yes,
trying to get that every couple of days.
so what is this? Blaze Star?
that's a potential.
Yep,
Potential.
getting ready to go Nova.
Keep rolling
Oh,
more
okay.
Yeah,
It's
it's predicted to go about any time.
the current Nova, what, how many years? 30?
80.
It's a long one, yeah. It's once in a lifetime.
Where are they saying it's magnitude will get to on that?
Oh, I don't remember. He's got a
6
third.
or so, I think.
But
Oh,
I
you
was
mean when
thinking
it goes
it's gonna be
Nova?
visible at day
Huh?
during the
Does he mean when it goes Nova?
Yeah, it's, well, no, I mean, when it's
Naked eye
quiet.
visibility.
Oh, when it's quiet, it looks like it's 10.
Right now.
10?
With a good
Mhm.
night, a clear
Yeah.
night, yeah.
So 10th magnitude when it's quiet,
Right.
pretty easy.
Used to be at a 6th, I think, or something like that.
Oh, I guess I think of the car.
You could probably shoot about a 30th of a second.
What about you, Graham? Do you have an object?
Just, that was the one,
Oh, okay.
well, M57 is my brother and I favored that one for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
57 or 27?
27.
27. I thought you, I remember you saying something about it before, so yeah.
In Cygnus.
That's it.
Oh, it's actually
Well, Pecula.
Pecula. Okay. Just
Yeah,
below
we said-
Cygnus.
Our first image, first light was in 57, in 27.
Do you have them?
No darks, no flats, just
Yeah.
30
yeah,
second,
yeah.
30-second shot.
It's just
Well-
nice and bright, so.
I think it's getting kind of low, but, I kind of like M101.
Mm-hmm. It's Kenville, right?
Well, it never gets very low.
No, it's,
Well,
Isn't it a circumpolar?
I think so.
that's a function of my neighbor's roof.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, right,
Oh, I see.
right. Gotcha,
So right above the handle.
yeah.
That's-
Nice big
that's a
galaxy.
good-
It does have its peak time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think in the spring it would be above
Well,
Polaris in the
Yeah,
evening.
what's the right
Mhm.
section?
It's, you got a great angle in April.
14
so-
hours.
And so,
Yeah, 14 hours right ascension, so that's already, we're already past that even at dark, but just barely.
then you get 7331, is that in the database, NGC?
Sure.
Pegasus. Oh, the Deer Lake group.
Now,
Galaxy.
those
30.
those small galaxies around it are between about 360, 370 million light years away.
Yeah.
And they are fun to pick up.
Cool.
And then there's Stebbins Quintet up to the upper right.
Yes.
This is a nice one.
It's a fun little area up there.
What about you, Ed? Any-
Well, one of my kind of favorites, it's not as well known as M27 or M8, is M55. It's one of the most southerly meteor objects, but I've always thought it was one of the most underrated globulars in the catalog.
Hmm.
Where is it?
It's off the handle of Sagittarius of the Teapot asteroid.
Pretty low,
It's pretty low.
but right now it's in good.
It'd be something you could easily hunt down now.
No, it wouldn't be, because it's too much smoke.
Thanks.
You'd be going through a lot of smoke right
Well,
now.
today, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Looks like nice gold
It's
stars.
quite bright, it's easily resolved in a 6-inch, the 6-inch reflector will
Yeah.
turn it into stars.
Yeah, it's not quite so packed in as some of them. The solar spread out and so.
It's nice to read.
Now, one thing they were saying during the conference, one of the briefings was on the globular clusters, there's something that's holding a bunch of them, whether it's
You
three.
think might it be a black hole
Black
perhaps?
Yeah.
Black holes,
I thought maybe that's where you were headed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suspect that's in most of them actually, and they're saying now that they think that some of the larger ones have a medium-sized black hole. I'm not sure what a medium size is, but
Well, you got normal size and you got supermassive, and you have to have something in between.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, so those are the medium-sized black holes, I guess.
I think they also said that that was one of the things that made them suspect dark matter.
Yeah.
There's a lot of argument about that.
Dark matter is kind of coming under some pretty severe criticism these
They
days.
haven't found it yet, they
Yeah.
thought they should have.
It's one of those not false yet, there's,
Yeah, that's right. Hasn't been disproven completely yet. But there's some evidence that they're looking at different things now. They're saying that's not it.
My brother got a good image of M51 in it, right? Without
Yeah,
any
so-
darks or flats or anything.
Those are nice.
It's the fun one.
And I was hearing something about M51 and this was on some television show and they were saying that there really isn't the gravitational connection between the two.
That's,
But there is. There's obviously.
well, they sure look, see, well, I always thought there was.
Yeah.
I heard somewhere once where The big one is actually well in front of the other one. It's
Yes.
more-
Yeah, the small dot is actually
Yeah,
behind.
the bright one is farther away.
But I
The
still
small one
think,
is actually, you know,
yeah,
they pull in the stars from the larger.
yeah, or at least the gas trail, the dust trail is being pulled down. And if it is further back, it's still close enough that it has some gravitational influence, I think.
Yeah.
Either way, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, makes a nice picture.
I took his image and didn't pay much attention to the galaxy. What I was doing was, this 30-second shot, I was trying to determine how faint we were going with the stars.
Yeah, yeah, always,
19.5.
always, yeah, for 30 seconds, that's
30
pretty good.
seconds.
Yeah.
Wes, do you have a favorite summer?
No, oh, I've just always been interested with the Andromeda galaxy, and I don't know why.
Because it's big for one thing.
Yeah, it is.
It's 2 degrees.
To be interested in.
That's a good one for DSLR or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Because you've got a wide field of view. And
You remember
Wider
how
the
big
better.
the whirlpool was that we just looked at and compare it to the box of
Well,
this
that's
thing,
what
right?
surprised me, Russell, when you told me that it's 4 degrees, what'd you tell me it was 4 degrees across the sky?
I think I said more like 2, but if you really count, you know,
2, which
here it
was
is,
4
it's
moons.
3.
so it's a little over 3.
I'd always thought 3, yeah.
You know,
This is also,
I would miss a lot of it, even with 200 millimeter.
Oh, yeah, most of the side of it you would get.
I don't know, 200 millimeter, you should be able to do okay. You
Get
got
all of it?
You got a full frame. Yeah.
Yes.
So, I don't know, 200 millimeter, I'll be able to get it all in.
If you go deep enough to get all of it.
Yeah, right, that's the hard part around here.
I just gotta figure out how to hook it to a telescope first.
Well,
Then you'd luck out.
well, hook it to a telescope and let it do the tracking, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but then once I figure that out, it's Katie bar the door.
Do you ever use PHD2 for tracking?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's good, it's good.
Yeah, we haven't used it yet, because so far even up to 5 minutes, you don't have to.
Well, you probably don't need it.
Not until we get over 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, and most of the time you just get 5-minute subs and you're.
Well, my brother wants to take,
Oh,
you wanted to take some 10 minutes, and I said, hey, don't, take short.
Right.
Every one of them had Elon Musk interfering with it.
Yes, yes.
He said, how do you stop that? And I said, you take short subs and stack them.
Just the other
So they're the ones you don't want.
night, I was going for an asteroid and it'd be damned if it didn't go right on top of it.
What was your
Anyway.
camera, Wes?
Huh?
What Nikon? Which Nikon?
D850?
No. Guess they don't have the D850 in here. Full frame camera is like,
Here it is. Oh, no, that's
Well, the 810 it's got the same,
okay.
same style.
yeah, same sensor, I believe.
Okay, so this would be,
So
you
there
should be
go.
it with the 200 millimeter.
Really?
Yeah.
So I could even, like 300.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could probably do 400 actually.
Yeah, try 400.
If I could fit in there.
Yellow's the 400.
So, yeah.
Oh,
That would be great.
oh my.
Gives you a new target, doesn't it?
Well, the wife bought me that lens so I could take pictures of the stars. She's gonna be tickled to death.
So that's it. So it's a 400 f5?
No, it's 5.6.
5.6.
It's a 200 to 500, 5.6, I think.
Ah,
And
okay.
then I've also got a 2X extender that works really well with it. And that turns it into 1,000.
Now you're starting about talking about tracking now.
Yeah.
Not
Right.
just, and guiding, not just putting it on a scope and letting it go
Yeah.
for 10, 15 minutes. Because when you start getting up there in resolution, you start increasing the difficulty of keeping those stars.
Well, that's probably as far as I,
The
except for
400?
I'm trying to think of the name of that constellation, the Hunter.
Oh, Orion?
Orion Nebula.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wanna do that.
Well,
Right.
and that camera would be good for it too, because
Well,
it's a pretty wide field.
Mhm.
I don't know.
So that 200 and 500 is.
There you
probably-
go.
Be perfect.
There's your,
Yeah.
there's your same
Orion at
400
400.
millimeter right there.
Oh, hell.
But-
You guys are gonna get tired of looking at these pictures.
Well, it does give you something to think about for sure.
This is kind of nice if you want to. Stillarium could give you frame fields, but this is kind of nice too. This astronomy tools they have a.
That was my 300 I did a little cropping,
Oh. Yeah,
so
that'll work.
yeah.
Yeah, that would work just fine.
Well, and on those, it's nice too, having, wider field of
Where
view
you
than.
crop it down.
Yeah, you crop it down, but it's also nice having, framing with the background sky too.
Yeah.
See, you thought you'd have trouble filling the time up.
This is
You're having trouble getting the time in.
that's all right.
You can't get run out.
And this would be the Orion at the same,
And that's with the 300?
yeah, that's 300.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep, opens up a lot of avenues there for you.
I don't suppose we could project something from the iPad onto the screen there, could we? Readily?
I mean, is it like an image that you can send me?
Well, it's a, it's a video.
Oh,
Well-
is it a link or is it like a?
It's a photo that I've got my photo.
Okay. I don't know how to. From there.
I'll just pass this around.
Oh yeah, sure.
You hit the play. That's our new scope.
Oh, really?
I actually just moved it around just to show my wife.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I just hit.
And where do you have that?
It's near Pie Town, New Mexico. Did we play it? Oops. Yeah, no, that's on that. It takes a minute. That thing's fast.
It's pretty smooth too.
Oh, it's darn smooth. With the sound up, you can't hear it move hardly even.
Yeah. No, it's quiet. Well, it's, essentially a great big motor.
Well,
No
yeah,
gears.
they build all their own, wind all their own motors and everything there. They don't,
I've got one that I started with and I've yet to finish,
well, they're tough.
but it'll be a 22-inch motor. It's pretty good size.
This is a 20-inch scope, but yeah. Got a play button there. This guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go, baby, go.
I'm looking forward to working with that guy.
Well, and they're so accurate because they've got such high resolution encoders, they know exactly, down to a couple arc seconds.
They're really good, yeah. And, I better
Nice
kind of
set.
splurged on that one.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
No. No. By the time we got two cameras,
Well, I know,
two filter wheels, rotators, focusers.
why 2 cameras?
Well, he's got his 400
Oh, okay, right.
400
Gotcha.
millimeter
Yeah, right, gotcha.
Nikon on it. This is it.
Everybody who's been around?
Yeah.
This is 34, 35, 40, 34, 50. That's about 3,500 millimeter.
Yeah,
Focal length on that.
yes,
Langley.
yeah, that sounds right. Sounds right. Yeah, that one up in Holton is a 24, but it's,
Is it a playwright?
yeah, it is,
Oh,
yeah, it is.
there's a lot of money in that one.
Yeah, there is. I mean, it was pretty expensive when he got it, and of course,
Bruce ordered the 24, and they said it would be 3 months before they could deliver it, so we got back off to the 20,
did you?
which is fine. That's,
Oh, yeah, in a dark sky, that makes a big difference.
Eric Dose has got a 17 now
Does he?
that he bought used, and he's considering moving it down to this site.
Yeah. Where's he at now?
Oh, New Mexico skies, I think they call
Okay,
it. yeah.
okay, yeah, yeah.
That's his second or third place. He was talking to him about moving it there, and all of a sudden the dome freed up. And so he leased the dome from him. He says, in fact, that thing cost me more than my house payment.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if he's talking about, this is this mine or is that, must be, okay.
Yeah, this is yours.
Okay, that's the Arboretum in Kansas City that, Alcon, where we had a dinner there. And it was the Friday night, it was the Starbecue, wasn't it?
Friday night.
Friday, yeah, Friday night, Starbecue. And they held it inside. It was a nice place, big and very roomy. The acoustics wasn't great, unless you wanted to hear everybody's conversation at one time. But no, it was kind of fun. I've not been to that Arboretum, and I don't know that I'll ever make it back, but who knows? Nice place though.
Where's it located?
It's south of Kansas City. It's down 71, I think, about
Okay.
10, 12 miles. It's a nice area. They've got about a, I don't know, 10-acre area, something like that,
Or at least,
maybe more.
yeah, beautifully landscaped.
Yeah, oh yeah, perfectly landscaped almost.
Did they do anything at Linda Hall Library?
Yes, they did. That's coming up.
Okay, that's quite.
There you go. There's Linda Hall Library. They have quite a number of ancient documents
What
there.
do they do? I got a photograph of Messier's
Yes.
while it was open.
Well, they just acquired apparently Galileo's hand-corrected notes.
Oh, good,
Yeah,
good.
all three lines.
Yeah, which was
They didn't
rare.
have that. It's just amazing how well they've done that.
Yeah, they do pretty well. But it's an impressive place, and then there's some very influential people right there.
I can tell.
I was suggesting how large a slice of cake I ought to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why he was going like this.
That's right.
And of course, Tim Russ next to him and David Levy sitting down there.
Yep.
Cool.
This is something I did just a couple nights ago, and this was a 0.3 magnitude drop of an asteroid occulting a star.
Oh.
So the asteroid was brighter than the star, which is the reason why you only get a 0.3 magnitude drop. But notice also, not only the main drop area, but notice over to the right.
Another one.
You get a harmonic.
Possible, that's a possible companion. It's
Yeah.
possible, but I don't know. This was just a couple nights ago, and there is no known companion as of yet.
Well, one of the problems though is really only one point, and so it makes it kind of hard to
Yeah,
verify.
that's the problem, that's the problem. And if there's other people that took this and got something similar,
Then you're.
then we're okay. But it likely it's, and when I turned the data in, I turned it in and noted that there was another point, a few seconds later that could have been. But I think it's not likely. I think it's just inherent.
What software do you use for that?
Well, that's what did I use?
Because I like that graph.
It does a good job. That's a software called Tangra.
Oh,
Tangra is designed to do asteroid occultations. That's
Oh, I
its
see.
purpose. So, yeah, and you can get it, it's a freebie, and you can get it through IOTA,
oh, yeah, okay.
International Occultation and Timing Association.
What is the timeline on that?
Well, you can see that's 8:05, 8:06, so those are in minutes.
Hmm.
So you've got like 6-minute
Let's see.
path there, a 7-minute path. It's pretty well defined.
This was taken from your place?
Yes. Yeah, that was my QHY 268M, which
Oh, good.
is kind of the baby of, baby brother of the 600.
And where in the sky?
Was that?
Yes.
I was trying to remember. It wasn't very high up. It was like 26 degrees above the horizon,
That's kind of low.
kind of to the southeast, southeast. So around in that area.
That's impressive, especially with all the smoke and stuff.
Well, fortunately, it was fairly bright. I mean, this was a 13th magnitude, so
Okay.
when I say relatively bright, I shot 2-second shots because I wanted to get a decent signal to noise. So I got a 26 signal to noise on average throughout that.
Oh, this was just done yesterday.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, well,
Yesterday.
2 mornings ago. Yes, right, yeah. Kind of days and nights are a little weird.
Oh, I tell you, this, living here with mountain time and UTC.
Yeah, you got,
Trying to keep everything straight. and
that's
stuff.
right, that's right. So anyway, and let me just demonstrate here what I was talking about earlier. What do you suppose the median age here is?
Getting up there, isn't it? I've noticed that with some, SAS meetings.
Yes, yes. There are a few people under 50, but not many. Anyway,
Yeah,
this
we
is, Walt Robinson. You remember Walt Robinson?
Oh, gosh, yes.
He's right there, he's right to the right.
The far right?
Yeah, there, that's
Oh.
him. And then
In the
Jackie,
white- In the white shirt? there?
yep, and then Jackie is
Yeah.
there. So those are 2 people that we've known for many, many years,
No,
probably
it's been
30
many years
years.
ago anyway. I haven't known.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I haven't seen Walt Robinson.
I was
Larry
fun
Robinson.
to talk to him. He's still doing asteroids, he's still doing occultations and lunar grazes and all that.
He dropped out of the club there though, didn't he?
I think he did.
Back-
And then he kind of came back, I
Did he?
think, after a while.
The guy on the far right looks familiar to me right there, and I can't figure out who that
I don't know. I'd place a name like Elmer to me.
might be. Well, he looks like an Elmer, but I don't think that.
Just by looking.
No, these SAS convention, you know, that first one that I went to was the one where they'd asked you to do it and you didn't really want to do it.
Yeah,
Because, would you mind saying Larry Flynn?
yes, yes.
He was pretty unhappy with me too,
Was he?
for not giving him so much credit for building that Yellowstone.
Well,
But when I was there, there was this gal that we visited with a little bit, and I thought she was a teenager or something. She's a professor. That's how old everybody was.
well, yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, a 40-year-old looks like a baby in there. Okay, so that's the report that I sent in, and hopefully it's, and notice I put down for notes, I put possible second dimming just before 810 UT, but I suspect it may not be real. So that was all the information I sent in, and hopefully I got that thing filled out right. They ask a lot.
There is, that's a pretty good sized farm.
Mhm. Fortunately, it's partially filled in for you, but most time not.
Get as much data as they can.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So that's Diadema? I don't know how you pronounce it, but that's the asteroid. But notice that it's a 423 number, so you can tell it's one of the early, within the first 1,000 asteroids discovered.
What's IOTA VTI?
That's International Occultation Timing Association, but VTI, I think, is, I don't know, virtual telescope, something, maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure what the VTI stands for.
Oh, okay.
That's just the stuff that goes in that. It's video timing, I think,
Yeah, video thing.
which it really wasn't video. It was 2-second images back to back. And of course, there's another delay in there, so you gotta account for that. So it's challenging to do these, and to get the right data on it. And notice that I put in a 37 millisecond correction, which was a standard, and notice I noticed smoke. 37 millisecond correction because of the delay between the time it starts, it's supposed to start taking the image, and it actually does start to take the image. That's 37 milliseconds via Russ's incredible invention on how to measure that delay.
How about measuring it for me?
And sadly, or you have to have it there to take an
Right.
image of it.
Yeah, your car in pretty good shape?
A new one would work better.
Yeah.
Well, have some.
Russ has got a little device that he puts together that's based off of some other work that some other scientists have done. And it actually sets up so you can measure that latency in your own camera, computer, etc.
Yeah. And, shutter opening,
I'm sorry?
shutter delay.
Well, yeah, it's exactly that's what it is. A shutter delay. When your computer tells it to start, there's a delay between the time it actually registers that start time and it actually opens the shutter.
Yeah.
So, and that's 37
What's
milliseconds. And that
the,
doesn't seem like a lot,
focal
But-
length
It sure is
on
something
that?
like this.
but it is very
Thunder.
important on stuff like this.
But
They want it down
300?
to, they want it down to 1
300.
millisecond if they can get it.
300?
300?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I saw an article on building something like that, but I didn't bother with it.
Well, he's got some
Yeah, one thing
that are for sale, by the way.
yeah, I'm a little concerned with the shutter on that thing. One of the days, you used to be able to take it dark with the shutter closed, right?
Yes.
You can't with this camera. With the 6.
No, it has no shutter. It's all
So it's
electronic shutter.
electronic.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So a 9-position filter wheel, I took one filter wheel out, one filter out, and put a black one in.
Well, put a dark in.
It's a black filter.
Yeah. I've done that with the one out at Farpoint. And unfortunately, that black filter doesn't seem to rotate as well as the rest of them, so we had an issue. I had to take it back out again, but
Ours seems to work all right.
yeah, I think it's just maybe our filter wheel is getting a little old or something, or it doesn't work very well, but I do need to check on that one these days and find out why, because it probably would be a good thing to have. I've got one in my filter wheel at home, and I use it on a regular basis.
So would you do it again, go to the conference?
Do it what?
Would you go to the conference again if they were to have it next year?
You know, I don't think I would, and here's the reason why. I think I'm age biased at this point. We don't have a lot of kind of new blood coming into Alcon. And you know, it's some of the old faces, and to be quite honest, I looked around the room and I know a lot of people there, and I visited with a lot of people, and I'm going, man, these people are old. They are deteriorating. And thank God I'm not, but
Yeah.
I mean, Yeah, it really is.
They're old and-
You really kind of notice the decline of a lot of people's cognizance. But that's not the reason. I mean, the reason why is because there really wasn't much of anything, I didn't think, new. Parker and I sat through Saturday's talks, and there was some talks that seemed like had an interesting title. Boy, it was just lackluster.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had one talk on astronomy and amateur radio, and I thought, you know, this is really, I'm a hammer. This could really be fantastic, get into some of the radio telescope stuff. And what it was a elementary counselor or something like that. And they talked to the space stations and went over. Guys just spent an hour basically telling us that he talked to the space station.
It was,
It was painful.
yeah, it was very slow and very painful. It was just not, there wasn't anything new in it. It was just all rehashing some old stuff that was pretty common knowledge.
Yeah, they've taken that, condensed it down to 5 minutes and then presented it to people.
Instead of the hour-long talk that it was.
What's that?
Your hand.
Yeah.
I was working on my license and got a commercial license instead. I was looking for a radio station.
What do you think,
Up on my
Justin?
amateur license.
I don't know. So, some of the talks were really good, I thought. Like the one live scouting at Powell, you know, that
Yeah,
gave me some
yeah,
tips and
yeah.
stuff for.
They did live stacking at Powell, so in real-time live stacking, so it was kind of fun to do. Although it's big now.
And then Dr. Kirkpatrick's, the first one on Thursday
Yeah,
morning
yeah.
on James Webb's data and what it's pushing on the age lines and so forth.
And that's
for-
also an area where they were starting to kind of diss the dark nebula, dark matter routine. That's
Well,
why
yeah,
they
and
come under
direct-
a lot of scrutiny and because of Webb.
Yes.
and direct collapse of supermassive black holes back then, or it's you getting into
Black
the
holes? Really?
chicken and the egg.
And I enjoyed the one on, they was talking about the death cycle of stars the size of the sun. And as we were talking about earlier, you know, a lot of that, you know, I felt like I kind of knew, but what I didn't really appreciate is that, you know, I was thinking, okay, when the guys are going to gradually get bigger and bigger and become a red giant, and then work its way to becoming a planetary nebula. But he was saying that as it gets larger to a red giant, then it kind of goes through the cycle where it kind of goes back and forth on the sequence. And we talked about, you know, how that happens. I found that pretty interesting.
It just kind of goes, rebounds back and forth.
Yeah.
you know.
One of my earliest forays into astronomy was in the 50s. And I was at Ohio
See,
State.
you didn't even need a program.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was at Ohio State. My uncle was a professor of physics there, and that's how I happened to wind up there. I think the folks threw me out for a year, is what happened. That's where I wound up doing some spectroscopy. It was interesting. But my uncle had drugged me along to a conference that he attended that was supposed to be classified. And there were, he wasn't an astronomer, he did other physics, but these were mostly astronomers, and they were talking about the variations in the sun at that time. They were expecting something dramatic and nasty to happen all of a sudden. You know, like exploding, becoming a red giant or something all of a sudden. And they
Total
thought
collapse,
they were-
whatever.
They
Yeah.
thought it was imminent. This is back in the 50s. They
Yeah.
didn't quite understand things as well. Yeah.
And made you wonder if you needed to complete that assignment for me.
Well, I didn't complete it. I spent most of my time working on that research project. Took a couple of classes. But I've always thought back on that. That was But nobody ever talks about that happening in the near future now.
Yeah, no, right.
Back in the 50s when they didn't know much,
Yeah.
there were certain people that would.
Well, and their big emphasis now with the sun is trying to protect their satellites.
Yeah,
That's
I wish they wouldn't. I'm tired of it.
I understand that, let me tell you.
Well, then the
Not,
one from NASA on Artemis project and the new updates for the launch windows and stuff, how the program's gonna go. So 26 is when we're supposed to see the next manned landing
Landing.
on the moon.
All right.
we'll have to scoot the Chinese over a little bit, have a landing pad.
Yeah.
How was Tim Russ?
Tim Russ was cool. He, because getting him to Gary, you've done over 60,000.
No, not 60. Let's keep it real. Nearly 30,000,
Yeah,
not quite.
but all the, with our scope and what we're running and so forth, he was,
Yeah.
Oh, you got to talk to him about it?
yeah.
He's been an amateur astronomer, he said, since he was, young.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, I says, well, where do you go in Los Angeles to scope? And he
Mhm.
said, well, I generally go out to Griffith Observatory,
Mm-hmm.
which apparently is on a kind of a hill, and it's a little bit away from the city, but it's still very light polluted. And he says it's terribly light polluted. He just seemed like a regular amateur. He's more of a visual guy than imaging.
Yeah.
So, and I think he likes to do the EPO kind of part.
He talked a lot about his use of the Unistellar telescope, which is one of the smart telescopes. It's one of the more expensive ones, around $2,500 as opposed to the C-Star, which is around $500. But the thing that really impressed me was with that scope, he showed a short video clip of tracking an asteroid. And it just amazed me that he could pick that up.
Yeah, especially in
with
that
small
kind of
scope.
sky,
Yeah.
too.
Any of you ever see on YouTube this guy by the name of Queeb, I think he said, calls himself a lazy geek? And
Oh, yes.
he does his work, he uses NINA, which we're using as an imaging thing, and describes some of his equipment. He works from a rooftop in Tokyo. How can anybody do that in Tokyo?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You'd think the light pollution would be horrendous.
Oh, it's got to be. How
Uh,
can you tell the difference between day and night in a place like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the big billboards and everything, and I've been in Tokyo before, and hell, it's bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, it would be.
yeah.
I missed that
It's,
chance
but,
to get-
you know, it's amazing that, and of course, we've got some equipment that helps. You got
Yeah.
fillers that help, but still, it's just amazing that you can do anything in that kind of environment.
I think
Well, and Russ said that a lot of the stuff he does is right down there in LA.
Yeah,
And he was asked about, the light pollution. He said that the Unistellar takes it out.
one thing that he has working for him though is he's got calmer sky
Yeah,
because of that ocean breeze coming across, so it's like forget what they call it now, but, anyway,
yeah, I know what you mean, I can't think of it.
yeah. Anyway, they do at least when you get a stable sky and kind of a calm, atmospheric turbulent sky, you get a little deeper that way because you can concentrate that light down from stars especially, and asteroids. So if you have a lot of turbulence, you know, you've got a big blob and you're trying to work with a big blob. And if you've got a calm sky, you're narrowing that down to a very small spot and you concentrate that light down.
Well, you got that small aperture, so you're not.
Right,
getting a bunch of
that's, you're not
bubbles.
getting a bunch of air cells in there too. Yeah, that's true. So, yeah,
Inversion layer, is that what you call it?
I'm sorry?
Inversion layer?
Yeah.
No, well, I was trying to think of the name when you've got a laminar flow. That's it.
That's it.
Man,
Well, you know, you
I
hang
used to
around
remember-
those old folks, that you get that way.
I know, yeah. That's, yeah.
Well,
I have to consider myself in one of many.
and then I was chatting with David Levy too, and was like, you work with Gary? Oh my.
Boy, he and I met at a conference in Kansas City one time, not the national stuff, but just they had a local Star Party.
Yeah.
And I went to one and met him there. He and Fred Bunges, which is Jen Winter's partner with Daystar.
Okay.
They own Daystar in Warrensburg. Anyway, Fred discovered the comet also. And I said, well, I was glad that you were across the state line, Fred, because that way Bram and I only have the comet that's the only comet that's found in Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was close though. He found it just across the line. Yes. So anyway,
We met Dave,
so I'm sorry.
Levy out too, and Flagstaff too,
Yes.
he was there.
Yes. Well, anyway, we got together and Jen took a picture of Fred, me, and David Levy, all three comet discoverers. So yeah, it was a kind of a fun thing to do. Anyway, yeah, I've met him before.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. I was chatting with him and trying to walk away, and so this little gal came up and said, Mr. Bell, I've been wanting to meet you. And that was
Carolyn?
Yeah, Carolyn, she knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know why she wanted to meet me. She had no idea who I was.
Well, you know, the thing with it is we had a little fame right before that. So
Yeah.
So when we went to that conference in '99, way late, or 90, maybe it was 2000, I don't know.
No, it'd been 98 or 99.
Yeah, it must have been 99.
2000.
But we had just discovered the comet.
No, we didn't discover that till December of 99.
But Marsden come up to us and said, your discovery, talked about your discovery, right?
I don't remember Marston at that one.
Yeah, he was there.
He was there because he and,
Yeoman,
what's his name,
Donald Yeoman.
Yeoman, they got in an argument.
Yeah, they did.
They
It was kind of a public argument too. It was kind of fun.
Shouldn't have been, but it was. Yeah. They didn't care much for each other.
No. No, but they, you know, they had to get along with each other because they were both pretty high in their professions.
Yeah. No, I think it was just the quantity of discoveries we had all of a sudden, I think was
I thought sure we had this, but we didn't discover the comet till December, so
December
that wouldn't have been, it would have been
the
2000.
2000 one was where I
Was
went to,
Tucson, wasn't it?
2000 was the one in New York that I went to.
Oh,
Because
maybe.
my daughter got married June 10th, 2000, and we left Omaha and headed right back to New York without ever coming home first.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I guess that's right. And then the next one was in Terre Haute. I think that was
Yeah.
the last one. No, there was one in Tucson somewhere in there.
I think that was probably 99.
No,
98.
99 was Flagstaff, wasn't it?
I thought that was Flagstaff, I thought was 98, but I'm wrong. 97.
Anyway,
Anyway,
sorry.
we got around a little
Diverged.
bit in those days. We
Yeah.
just don't know who went or when.
Yeah. It's just that our memory doesn't correlate.
Oh,
Anyway, the point is that we had discovered a comet, and some of these people at whatever convention we were at, you know, we got some notoriety from that, but and we got pretty good press. We actually got
Yeah.
picked up in a lot of papers on front page nationwide.
Well,
surprisingly, amateurs discover a comet, so it's like, okay. But our own newspaper, we were backed by the obits.
Yeah.
Nobody gave a shit.
Yeah, look, you're never famous in your backyard. That's the key.
Made it to Sky and Telescope and Astronomy Magazine,
Yep,
but not the local news.
not the local news, that's right. Anyway, that's pretty typical. I think. And we kind of diverged considerably here, so.
Oh, that's okay.
If you want to do it next month instead of this month, I can take a month off.
Oh, I don't have that much, so I could just quickly go through it, and then you're still good for next month. Haha.
Can get out of it.
Yeah.
Let's try though.
I was just going to talk about the Astronomical League. Really, there's some really great videos that cover it a lot better than I will, so I'll post it to the group after.
Yeah.
Because there's actually some group, a club in Texas, they seem to have recorded and have the same presentation probably at least 4 times, and they do a better job because they have people that actually done a lot of the programs, unlike me. So, but Astronomical League, people are probably a bit more familiar with it than me. I mean, I know I've heard about it since I joined the club, but if you noticed, it's an option to join or not when you join NECAL, and because it's a little bit cheaper if you join through your local club rather than solo. You can still join by yourself, but you get a bit of a discount if you join with a club. And so I guess it would be called like a supplemental membership, but mainly some of the things that they do is they offer guides on how to run clubs smoothly, clubs like ours. They have a store that sells curated items particular to astronomers. They hold conventions, which we were just talking about, the Alcon, and they organize Astronomy Day. It's 2 times a year in the spring and fall. I'm not that familiar with Astronomy Day, but that's one of the things that they do. And they publish the Reflector magazine. If you join, you get a quarterly subscription to the Reflector. I meant to bring one with me today, but I forgot.
Yeah, they had some there for handouts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I picked up one.
Cool. And they organize observing programs, which I'll get into more here. Yeah? Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to say something. Okay, and challenges and certificates, which are a little bit different than observing programs. They're sort of things that happen, more timely things, or things that happen once in a while, like a Venus transit or eclipse or something like that. And they used to be associated with the International Dark Sky Association, but I don't see them mentioned anymore, so that might be its own thing now.
IDA is pretty well gone, isn't it?
They
There's
changed
something
their
else
name,
now.
Oh, they changed the
but I
name.
don't remember to what.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I think they tried to get more into things like manufacturers of light fixtures and.
Yeah, it could be, but they aren't the IDA anymore.
They did change their name.
They moved away from what we are interested in.
It was Dark Sky International now,
It could be, yeah.
Okay.
what we do. Dark sky places, approved lighting, light pollution education. But yeah, they must be their own organization now. That's not really part of the Astronomical League. But anyway.
Yeah.
But it used to be part of the Astronomical League, but I guess not anymore. Okay. So one of the big things though is the observing programs. So the observing programs are basically you keep a log about some of your observing, and then you could get and then you send it in for review, and you could get a certificate with a pin. And maybe you might not care about a certificate or a pin, but the main thing is like it's sort of slight motivation and a guide for like what to do. So if you're new to astronomy, you don't really know how to continue, how to increase your knowledge and your experiences, then these are especially nice guides to direct you for your learning.
I likened it to Explorer Scouts, the way they collect badges from different things.
You know, in some ways, yeah. And, you know, the learning thing is good, because Messier objects, they have a Messier marathon, and you can get certificates for how many Messier objects you can observe. Well, you can't do that without learning something about it. So, it's a good thing.
Yeah, and they have lots of them. So here's a PDF where they have a list of all the different programs that they have, and they have them different categories: difficulty, beginner, intermediate, advanced, what equipment you have, what you can use. So the idea is like, no matter what equipment you have and what your experience is, there's some programs for you to do, and you could advance from there.
I'm hoping to get my asteroid beginner
Uh-huh.
certificate sometime.
I got my silver a long time ago. Larry Robinson it was.
Yes,
Larry.
yes.
Yeah, so
Larry and Walt. I don't know if they're related, but
you just have to send it in and do all the paperwork. Then you could get it.
yeah, that's been holding me back.
You know, he hasn't got time to do the paperwork, he's too busy with asteroids.
Tell you, you get busy filling out those IOTA forms for sure. They're pretty comprehensive.
But if you are really just starting, then they have this guide, suggested guide for you. So it's like, you know, are you new to observing? If you're not, then maybe you could like check out the master observer progression and not this guide, right? Or they have awards just for people 10 and under and 17 and under, and then they suggest you start with these three: Beyond Polaris, Observing Program, Constellation Hunter, Northern Skies, or if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, Summer Skies. But what usually is in an award is usually you log your observations of a certain amount of things, whatever it is. There's a few exceptions, but usually it's you could log it by writing it down or having a voice recording, or type it on a computer. But usually record the date and time that you made the observation of whatever you're looking at, the location. Then you check like the sky seeing, sky transparency, try to estimate the sky background light for light pollution, and your equipment used, and then a description or a sketch. So some of the programs you have to sketch because they're sketch programs, but otherwise sometimes you can just write a description of what you're seeing down. But let's take a look at this Beyond Polaris program just as an example. This is Beyond Polaris is just a little bit different than some of the other ones. It's not specifically objects, but it has a lot of stuff that it's kind of nice if you are just very, very starting in astronomy. So, so all the programs usually have this card or whatever that says like what you need to do the program. You know, so this one says E, you know, so you just use your eyes for this program. And it's manual. So I think the difference between manual and device aided is if you're using like a go-to scope or not, something that will point for you or not. So there's certain programs you could use, like computerized equipment, and there's certain ones where to do it honestly, you need to find the thing without like a computer that tells you where it shows or automatically goes to it for you. So this one is a manual thing. However, the manual is easy. It would make no sense to use a go-to scope for this program anyway. Sometimes you can use a remote scope, or there's also visual programs or imaging programs. So if you're wanting to do astrophotography, they have astrophotography programs. If you're wanting to just look through the eyepiece, they have those too. And then number of levels. I think lots of them have like bronze, silver, gold, based off the difficulty, a lot of them would be like, a certain catalog of objects, and they're like, okay, bronze is X amount of objects, and then silver is more, that you've done more of those objects, and gold is like almost all of them. Let's see. And then, yeah, sometimes they have you construct equipment or other things. So this card's usually there for all the different programs. And it usually has a background information, like how this program got started, and what its idea. So like this one, it was made by some people that are like, okay, I'm just very now getting started into astronomy. Like, what is some nice things to do now that I'm like just getting started? So this would even be like a good idea for someone who like just joins the club and is doing astronomy for the first time, to see if they are really liking it. So here's the requirements. So first, they want you to keep a log and of your notes. You know, like I said, it has date and time and your location and the sky transparency and seeing. So if you're doing for the first time, you might try to learn like, what is seeing and what is transparency. And then like this one is interesting because it's not just looking at stuff in the sky. It's like understand star party etiquette or whatever. So it's made for like people who really are like joining a club for the first time or something. So you write down a list of your star party etiquette and what items you might bring, like bug spray or whatever. And yeah, and then it's just like tell 2 mythical constellation stories. So this is like to tell people, so maybe something more that would be helpful for public outreach type of thing. And then draw a sketch of the solar system, identifying planets. So like this is not even like an observing thing. So this is I would say this is not like your typical one, but it's a nice one when you're getting started. Yeah, difference between asterism and constellations, but what are binary stars, star clusters. Anyway, so you get the idea, and then it has you just draw some constellations, so you get the idea. But so that was one of the ones that they first suggested. The other one was like Constellation Hunter, northern and southern skies. So again, this is just an eyes one. The requirements here is I believe you have to sketch. You have to sketch what you're seeing. So it's basically you go out and you sketch the different constellations.
I like the star party etiquette. I can tell you a little bit about star party etiquette. If 2 of you are supposed to share a 20-minute presentation, don't take up the first 18 yourself, right?
Oh.
Remember that, Gary? I'm sorry, I did that to you.
Yes, I did. Well, I gave a talk in Wichita one time, went down to Wichita. And of course, they didn't exactly pay your way down. So you go down to Wichita, it's a couple or an hour and a half drive or whatever it is, and then we ate at something that had, I think, listeria. Anyway, that's the principal menu item. But we went to the club meeting, and you usually have 10-15 minutes of business that they used to have to take care of. I didn't get my talk started. It started at 7 o'clock. I didn't get my talk started until about 8:45.
And they closed at 9.
And they closed at 9. At 15 minutes. Anyway, that's what we're talking about. Yes. Yes.
Maybe worse.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That was our Kansas City Star Party, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yes. Remember.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
Sorry.
Okay, so yeah, and they also have urban programs, so ones that are designed that you could only do them in the city. So if you could see the Milky Way, you're disqualified from that location from getting these events. So.
We're going to try that.
And but also, an interesting thing, something that maybe I didn't consider is like, you write descriptions about it. Some other ones have you try to like classify your certain objects. Let's see, like the what's it called? let's see, what is, oh yeah. Or you like could, you know, when it, sometimes it might ask you, like double stars, it might ask you what colors you noticed, or there was this one where you had to classify certain type of open clusters, because different open clusters have different classifications. But you know, and sometimes you'll get them wrong. And you know, I was watching the video of someone doing a presentation. It's like, well, why am I doing this? You know, if I'm just gonna get it wrong. And it's really like, you know, you're really trying to, you're really looking yourself, and you'll, even if you get some things wrong, you'll notice stuff that you would have never even cared to look for if you weren't trying some of these programs.
Well, that's the whole point, I think, of the drawing, is that, you can look and see stuff, but then if you are trying to draw, you are paying attention to it.
Mm.
And there's nothing like having to put a pencil or a pen in hand and
Trying to be a little
somebody
bit
to
more,
really
yeah,
start focusing on what you're doing.
trying to be a little more analytical about what you're saying.
Yeah, and some, you know, I have a problem, especially in the spring, of not really knowing what objects to show people, like the public night. And you know, like, it's really easy just to try to stick with the Messier objects, but like, you know, Charles Messier was actually not trying to look for awesome objects to look for on a public night or whatever. He was making a catalog of stuff that, so he wouldn't be confused with a comet. And there might be other objects that are way better than the Messier objects. So, like, for example, like some people hate the Caldwell objects, but the Caldwell objects were kind of designed to try to be extra objects that are bright and that could be good to look at. And they're numbered from north to south. So I think from here you could see up to Caldwell 83 at least. And lots of them are probably, you know, some really nice objects that like probably get like almost no attention just because they're not a Messier object. And some of them might be nice to show on a public night, but they just get ignored. But there's a Caldwell program where you try to observe a bunch, and you might notice that there's some great ones that you might like better than even Messier objects. Oh yeah, to get gold for Caldwell, you'll have to travel to the southern hemisphere if you want that program.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's also, you know, the Herschel 400. I know, like, probably 6 months back, we talked about Herschel and his big telescope and the work that he did with his sister. And they also, you could also get a program about doing the Herschel 400. And if you get really interested in doing these programs, there's like tips that if you want to get as much programs as you can, because several of the programs, their objects overlap, and you could like use it for the same program.
I think there's also an Able galaxy cluster
Mm.
Yeah.
that you can do.
When there are objects.
Mm.
That's what I was thinking, art, yeah. Yeah.
Those are interesting.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, that's why.
That's why they're listed, that's right, that's right.
Oh yeah, so if you do, yeah. Art Peculiar Galaxy Northern Observing Program. So this one you could do visual or imaging. So if you just wanted to image them.
See that here.
I ran across, one time when I was doing NEOs, I ran across a galaxy that was a completely circular galaxy with a big ring around it. And it was a galaxy, not a planetary nebula. It looks exactly like a
Well,
planetary
I
nebula.
gave a talk on that. And I mean,
The Hogue object, wasn't it? Something like
well, I
that.
think so. What it was, a circular galaxy with a hole in the middle.
Yeah.
And the one that I gave a talk on had the circular galaxy with the hole in the middle. And right in the middle of that hole was another circular galaxy with a hole in the middle. The strangest thing.
Sometimes you run across these weird things and you're going, wow, how come I didn't know about this before?
I just thought that was amazing, this circular galaxy with a hole in the
Yeah.
middle, and then to find that it contained the same.
The container, we viewing through it to,
Well,
Probably.
behind it was another circular galaxy. You can see it's right through the center of this one. I did talk on that.
And I wonder, was it gravitational lens?
I don't think so. I don't think it was.
So if you do decide to do a program, basically you could. It depends on the program. Some of them you like send it to nation, like the nationwide representative or whatever, the person who approves the program. Like I think this one has. Yeah, you take your log sheets or visual observing or digital image, and you send it to the observing program coordinator. But you also send it to your local astronomy club liaison. And I think our liaison is Janelle
I think
currently.
so.
So some of them it's just you send it to the liaison, and then the liaison says, "All right, it's cool," and then you get the award. Some of them you send it to the liaison and the like official coordinator, and I think there's a few that you just send to the coordinator. It's just like forget the liaison, but it depends on the program of what you're doing.
And there is a master observer program. And I don't know how many of these other programs you've got to have pins for, but it's a lot.
But yeah, this is the progression for Master Observer program.
Remember handing that award to Eric when he was standing right over here.
Yep.
Yeah, so it looks like you do some naked eye observing awards, and then binoculars, and then I think there's a combination of different ones that you can get here: imager or observer. But I mean, I think Eric was really the only one who's ever gotten an award in the club that I can
From our,
remember.
from our
Yeah.
club, yeah.
I don't think anybody here has really pursued
Yeah.
anything to speak of.
I thought it'd be, I didn't, like, I think last when I looked at it, they didn't really have much of an imaging award, so it could be nice just to go through
Yeah.
and, sometimes you're just like, I wonder what targets to try out today. And it could just be, well, let's just go through this award list, and you might find stuff that, like, oh, I actually really like this one.
Yeah.
You
Something.
get some
They've
good
been-
ideas from some of these programs. That's,
I think that's.
even if you don't pursue them all the way through.
Mm.
I've been using some things from the solar hydrogen observing.
Oh, yeah.
They've got you drawing a lot of things.
But there's a lot of activity right now.
Yes.
And
The iron, so to speak, is hot.
The hydrogen alpha.
they
observer.
did say during the start of the conference that Powell Observatory is going to be moving here.
Their scope, they're 30 inch.
Yeah, the 30 inch.
Basically 30 inch,
That's a mess.
dressing your scope.
Oh, where are they moving it to?
Cold. Oh, I got it here.
Cold water spray.
Yeah, Coldwater Springs.
But I looked that up, there is no cold water springs in Kansas, but unless they were talking about someplace that's about midway across the state.
I think it's across the border.
That's what I was wondering, if it was in Missouri. And they have a dark sky observing site, and that I don't think didn't belong to the club in general, it just belonged to a group of people that decided to have a dark sky. So they set up a facility down near Butler, Missouri, which I've been to a couple times, and it's a nice place. It's not perfect sky, but it's a whole lot better than what they had.
Well, I haven't been there, but I've read the description of it. It looks like they have a lot of nice facilities. They have a building there with, kind of a kitchenette, shower, meeting room,
Yeah.
and a place where you can set up your tent, and a place where somebody has a trailer that would
You got,
plug it in, plug it in.
you got a nice open field, some electricity.
So like what Walter was trying to do for us up, a bunch of
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
He got the last story. Oh, that was-
except trying to figure out how to get electricity and water there was a little rough.
Well, it was, and then the county didn't want to put up a fuss.
They'll hold a rather large star party down there in September
Yeah,
every year.
yeah. I've been to it a couple times.
That'd probably be one of the things, the Texas Star Party. Try to catch that one, or
Yeah,
That's when in the spring? When is that?
usually around Memorial Day,
yeah,
which is a busy time.
Which one, the Okie-Tex or different?
Yeah.
Nebraska
No,
Star
Okie
Party
Tex.
is pretty
There's
good.
Texas Star Party, which was done at
Oh, that's
Approved
coming up,
Ranch
isn't it?
for many, many years. And I don't know that it's still there anymore. But it's somewhere in that general vicinity.
Yeah.
By McDonald Observatory, essentially, in that area.
Oh, okay.
And it used to be a big star party. They used to get, 5,
I think
600
COVID
people at a
shut
time.
her down.
Well, I don't know that it was COVID. I think there was some internal issues, and then they had trouble with the people that they contracted with, for the land use, and there were some issues there. So, as things happen, some politics gets in the way, and then things go to hell. But I think they still have it. I think they're still running it, although it's modified from what it used to be.
Texas Star Party?
Yeah.
Says it's in April 20 to April 27th.
Well, there's one out in Colorado, I think, on the southern part.
The Colorado
Star?
Springs one, yeah. Yep. I've been to that one, yeah.
Yeah, how was that?
I had difficulties with food because you can't have fires because it's really dry. They don't want to have a forest fire, and I was really hot during the day, and so I couldn't sleep during the day. So I don't know. I think you have to be ready to camp. Yeah, and I was not ready.
My brother lives like 35 to 40 miles west of there. So, well, I
Okay.
think the Colorado Springs party was, Star Party is west of the Springs, isn't it? Southwest,
Yeah.
so it's pretty close to Bruce.
Yeah, I mean, for like the hour or two that I was able to stay awake once it got dark, it seemed pretty cool, but I had a hard time otherwise. It's just like, you just wake up at the crack of dawn when you're in the
Star
tent.
parties are different.
They are.
They're not quite as easy sometimes unless you've got your own rigs and camper and all that. You got a camper you're pulling and your equipment can be stashed away in it. And that's different, but tent camping, no, thank you. I don't, and they had tarantulas, so that's,
Okay, well, that's enough.
Well, that's something to think about, question earlier, you didn't go to any more of these things next year. It's gonna be right outside of Bryce Canyon.
yes, right.
And
Alcon is.
Barry and I sat next to the lady who's organizing it and asked, what about accommodations? And she said, the travel lodge, and then a place for campers, and then a place for tents. So Russell, that may be down your alley.
Oh,
At least, but you normally burn during the day, you freeze at night, so.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
It's so dry.
An added bonus.
This place in New Mexico, I, of course, have to watch the weather pretty carefully, because I have, well, that's nice to know in advance whether the roof's gonna be open or not.
mm-hmm.
Always nice, always nice.
Kind of do base your evening planning on that. 80s and 90s during the day, 40s at night. It's like when I was
It's,
in Wyoming, we had a,
you use your focuser a lot more.
yes, runs quite often. And when I was in Wyoming, I lived on the eastern side of the Continental Divide, but that guy I worked for was a civil engineer. He and I would get his plane and fly over to the western side. little town of Big Piney. And we stayed in a trailer over there, and this gal that had the trailer next to us had a cat. We'd get up in the morning and this dish of water out there that she had for the cat had a layer of ice on it.
Mhm.
That afternoon, it'd get up in the 90s. Next morning, we'd put a layer of ice on that water. You know, I like the West, but there's a limit.
Yeah, elevation issues are difficult for flatlanders.
Yeah. That was difficult when I wasn't a flatlander. I lived at 7,000 feet above sea levels. I should have been used to it.
Anyway, yes.
Yeah, the Colorado Springs ones, I think it's called the Rocky Mountain Star Starer. It's June 5th through June 9th, usually, I guess. First or so week in June.
Missed that, huh?
Darn it, you missed it. That's too bad.
Oh, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah.
I talked to Jane and let me go to that next year so I can at least visit with my brother.
Did anyone see any awards that they were interested in? I don't know if anyone's looked through them. But
Here's the girl.
there's like over 100.
Yeah, the art for 2-year galaxies, so it's always looked like it'd be a fun one.
Yeah, I always thought that would be.
They allow imaging.
Yeah, I imagine they do, because they're not very bright, most of them.
I mean, I probably what you send to the Meyer Planet Center works if you really wanted to get this program. You need to get your pen. All you need is 25 asteroids for the silver.
Huh. I think I might have seen that man
Yeah.
for a night.
Oh, John Gore.
John, we used to be right around it.
Yeah.
That was years ago.
Who's that?
Oh, John Gore.
Oh, right.
John
State of
Gore.
Washington, huh? Silverdale.
Anyway, that's about it. But if you're interested and you'd like a better presentation, let's see. I'll link to this. Let's see. It's over here. This is a pretty good presentation, and he basically goes over the Astro League and does a much better job than me. This guy is trying to get lots of programs, so he brings up some of his own sketches and stuff. They keep on want to reiterate you do not have to be a good artist or a good sketcher to get them. They could be very bad as long as you try. So, but that's all I had. I think that's about good. I think we'll soon get that warning about the library. So thanks for coming.
Won't be long.
Well, we successfully filled in the entire hour with some help from Russ.
Well done, Russ. Thank you.
Yeah, you just rattled on and on there, Russ.